This is the racing ladder.
The professional stories behind NASCAR's biggest careers.
From the bottom of the ranks to the top of the Cup Series. How they rose, who they drive for, and what it takes to win.
With Oro Quintana
And Cole Vega.
The climb starts now. The climb starts now.
What's up? And welcome back to The Racing Ladder, the professional stories behind NASCAR's biggest careers. I'm Oro Quintana. On this channel, we don't do gossip, and we don't do drama for drama's sake. We do the climb. How drivers actually claw their way up through the ranks, who bets on them, and what it costs to get to the top. And today's story might be the most improbable climb in the whole garage. A driver who spent years as the last funded, longest shot name on the entry list. A guy who genuinely might have quit racing to go run the family farm full-time. Instead, he turned a single make-or-break season into a career at the sport's highest level and built an identity nobody in this sport will ever forget. This is the professional rise of the Watermelon Man. Let's climb. To understand the driver, you have to understand the ground he came from. Literally. He grew up in a small farming community in southwest Florida, on land his family had worked for 8 generations. Watermelons. Hundreds of acres of them. This wasn't a hobby farm or a rich family side project. This was the family business. The thing that put food on the table and paid the bills, going back further than anyone in the house could remember. He learned to work before he ever raced. Planting, harvesting, loading, selling. The unglamorous rhythm of agriculture, where the reward only comes when you put in the hours nobody sees. That wasn't a story polished up later for a highlight reel. That was his everyday life on the farm. Racing started small, a go-kart. A local short track, a short drive from home. The kind of grassroots racing where the budget comes straight out of the family's own pocket, and every part is precious because there's no replacing it if it breaks. No factory team came along to bankroll the ride or fast-track a path up the ladder. He was a farmer who happened to be fast, and who loved racing enough to keep showing up, week after week. And here's the thing that makes the whole story work. He never stopped being that kid. But the story was just getting started, because at this point, outside a few Florida short tracks, almost no one had noticed him yet. Every driver who makes it has a moment where the hobby has to become a career, where you leave home and go chase it for real. For him, that meant packing up and moving to the center of the stock car world, hundreds of miles north, to be where the teams were. He got his first shot in NASCAR's national ranks as a teenager, in the Truck Series, the entry point to the big leagues. And a first shot is exactly what it was. Not a plum ride, not a factory seat. A door cracked open just enough to get a foot in. Let's be honest about what climbing the ladder really looks like for a driver without a checkbook behind him. It means underfunded equipment. It means driving for smaller teams that can't test, can't develop, can't give you the same machinery the frontrunners have. It means results that don't reflect your talent because you're not being judged on a level field. And it means something even harder. You become the driver people forget to mention. Fast enough to belong, but never in the equipment to prove it. Year after year, you watch better-funded rookies get promoted past you while you scratch and claw for a mid-pack finish in a car that was beaten before the green flag. A lot of drivers wash out right here, not because they aren't good enough, but because the money runs out before the opportunity shows up. For a while, it genuinely looked like that might be his story too. The farm was always there. It would have been the reasonable choice. For the better part of a decade, his career was a patchwork. A ride here. A partial season there. Bouncing between the truck and second-tier series, between teams, taking whatever seat he could find, and squeezing everything possible out of it. Think about the mental discipline that requires. There's no guaranteed contract. There's no security. Every weekend is an audition, and the stakes are your entire future. But you're auditioning in equipment that can't win, in front of decision-makers who mostly look at the finishing order, not the circumstances. He kept the farm connection alive the whole time. When there wasn't sponsorship money, the family and the farm were part of what kept the operation afloat. That's not a cute detail. That's the literal answer to the question every long-shot racer faces. How are you paying for this? For him, part of the answer grew in a field back home. And slowly, quietly, he built a reputation among the people who actually watch closely. Not as a superstar, as a racer. A guy who would run the wheels off anything you put him in. A guy who'd take a nothing car and drag it forward. A guy who never, ever gave up a position for free. That reputation matters, because in this sport, opportunity doesn't usually arrive as a grand announcement. It arrives as a phone call, a team with an opening, a sponsor with a budget for a few races. And when your whole career has been proving you can do more with less, you spend years praying for exactly one thing: a real car in a real season, with a real chance, just once. Then came the season that split his career into a before and an after. A top-tier organization needed a driver for a program in the second-tier series. It wasn't the ride everyone was chasing. It came together in an unusual way. But for the first time in his life, the farm kid had genuinely competitive equipment underneath him. Real horsepower, real resources, a real chance to be judged on the same field as everyone else. And he did not waste it. Given a car that could actually run up front, he ran up front. He didn't just show flashes, he won. A first National Series victory, the kind of result that had eluded him for years, not because of talent, but because of circumstance. And the message it sent through the garage was unmistakable. This was never a talent problem. Give this man equipment, and he delivers. This is the single most important lesson in his whole climb, and it's true for almost every driver who rises from nothing. The ladder isn't purely about talent. It's about talent meeting opportunity. Talent alone gets forgotten in a slow car. Opportunity alone gets wasted on a driver who can't deliver. The careers that take off are the ones where a genuinely fast driver finally gets a genuinely fast car and doesn't blink. He'd waited years for that collision of talent and opportunity. When it finally came, he turned it into proof. And proof, in this sport, is currency. Proof gets you noticed. Proof gets you the next call. Proof is how a longest-shot farmer suddenly becomes a name that team owners say out loud in meetings about the future. Proof got him to the top series full-time. But getting to the Cup Series and belonging in the Cup Series are two very different things. And the ride that would define him almost didn't exist yet. Here's where timing and the business of the sport take over the story. A brand new ownership group was buying its way into the Top Series, taking over the equipment and infrastructure of an established operation and reinventing it. New owners, new identity, a blank page. And they needed a driver who could deliver right away and help build something from scratch. They bet on the farmer. Understand what a leap of faith that was. This was not a safe, obvious hire. This was a new team choosing a driver whose whole career had been defined by not having top equipment and handing him top equipment in the biggest series, with the whole operation's credibility riding on whether he could produce. It's the kind of decision that either looks like genius or looks like a mistake within about a year. There's no middle ground when you're a startup in the most competitive form of American racing. And almost immediately, it looked like genius. In his first full season with the new group, he didn't just survive at the front. He won! The team's first ever victory in the Top Series came with him behind the wheel. The longest shot in the garage had become the foundation of one of the sport's most talked about operations. The kid who loaded watermelons before dawn was now the guy a whole race team was built around. Now that's climbing the racing ladder. Now here's what separates a driver who makes it from a driver who becomes unforgettable. It's not just winning, it's identity. And his identity is built on two things: how he races and how he celebrates. First, how he races. He is one of the most aggressive, formidable competitors in the sport. A driver who will use every inch of the racetrack and then some. That style makes him thrilling to watch and, at times, controversial in the garage. He races people hard. He doesn't hand back positions. He earns a reputation as a driver you have to genuinely deal with every single lap. And that aggression produced the single most replayed moment of his entire career, a moment that has become motorsport legend. Facing elimination from a championship round, with everything on the line and no conventional move left, he did something almost no one had ever dared. He pinned the throttle and rode the outside wall, flat out, all the way around the final corners, trading the safety of the racing line for raw, physics-defying speed. In a matter of seconds, he passed a fistful of cars and vaulted himself into the championship round. People still can't believe it happened. It's the kind of moment that defines a career in a single, desperate, brilliant instant. And then there's the celebration. Every time he wins, a watermelon comes out, smashed on the track, in front of the crowd, a tribute to the family and the farm that got him there. It's the perfect signature, a superstar in the biggest series who refuses to hide where he came from. Most drivers spend their careers building a polished image. He built his on watermelons and dirt roads, and it made him one of the most recognizable names in the entire sport. So where does the farmer sit now, measured against the best in the sport? He's no longer the long shot. He's no longer the underfunded name at the bottom of the sheet. He is a multiple-time winner in the Top Series, a regular contender, and a driver who has delivered his team its biggest moments, including one of the sport's crown jewel prizes. He's won across multiple seasons in a row. He's made championship-level runs. He's collected honors voted on by the fans themselves. But the numbers, as impressive as they are, aren't really the point of this story. The point is the shape of the climb. He is proof of the single most motivating truth in all of motorsport, that you can start with no money, no dynasty, and no factory backing, and still reach the front if you're fast enough, stubborn enough, and ready the one time the door finally opens. He climbed every rung the hard way. Short tracks, underfunded trucks, patchwork seasons, one make-or-break chance, a startup team's leap of faith. And then, at the top, an identity so authentic that a whole sport learned to love a watermelon farmer from a small town in Florida. That's not a gossip story. That's not a scandal. That's the professional climb, earned, rung by rung, in full view of everyone who said the money would run out first. That's the climb, from a Florida watermelon field to the front row of American racing, one hard-earned rung at a time. No shortcuts, no dynasty, no checkbook. Just talent, stubbornness, and being ready the one time it counted. If you got something out of this one, do me a favor and hit subscribe. We're telling the professional stories behind every major NASCAR career on this channel, and there's a whole ladder still to climb. Drop a comment and tell me, who should we climb next? I'm Aura Quintana. This has been The Racing Ladder. And until next time, keep climbing.
This is The Racing Ladder.
The professional stories behind NASCAR's biggest careers.
From the bottom of the ranks to the top of the Cup Series. How they rose, who they drive for, and what it takes to win.
With Aura Quintana.
And Cole Vega.
The climb starts now. The climb starts now.